What's going on, gamers out there? Gamer93 here, and welcome back to the City World. Now, I don't remember what part this is, though. Unfortunately, let me just double check real quick for my computer. Because this can actually help me figure out what part I'm on, though. So, I'm currently on part number 25, that's what I thought, though. Okay. I'm currently on, this is currently part number 25. Yeah, you heard me right. This is part 25. Now, obviously, though, you may be wondering, wait, why is it taking forever to load in the inventory? Well, I added some extra add-ons. So then I said I was eventually going to do. Now, you may be wondering, what is all this down here? Well, what is... Huh? When did they add new stuff? Whoa, hold on. Railroad workbench? What? Train tickets? What? What? They definitely... Chime marker? Diesel... What? What? Whoa, 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 hold on a minute, hold on. Did they actually, hold on. Did they actually update the train? They did, they added more trains! No way! They actually added more trains. No way. I was actually not expecting that. I really wasn't. Anyways, though, let's grab... Okay, so I'm going to need to grab this. I'm going to need to grab this. And then I'm going to need to grab... Not the jungle, I need... There. No, that's tied iron tracks, though. I think there's a... Okay, yeah, that's the gold, that's the copper. That's the netherite. Wait, what? I'll be damned. Okay, so let's start off with the tracks. Now, what I'm going to need to do, though, is I'm going to need to put the train tracks right here. Kind of like this a little bit. Now, if you're wondering why these are going to be here, though, it's to help represent the sidewalk. Now, there is something that I also realized, though, and I need to grab out the full block, though, which luckily for me, I should have already, right? Yep, here it is. There we go. There we go. Nice. Okie dokie. No, get that block back. So I'm gonna need to grab this, I'm gonna need to grab this one. There's a reason why, though. Wrong block. Oh, I gotta grab the grass block now. Darn it. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So, now, obviously, though, as you can see, this kind of needs to go in the ground, though. Not really on top of the ground, though. Because if you look closely, though, how can a car get on top of this, though? What the heck? What the heck? Oh, it's actually got a sound effect! Nice. I like that, actually. So let's extend this outwards, like this. Unfortunately, though, I was trying to have like a car add-on though, but the downside though is I can't use this world with that car add-on, unfortunately. So once the city world is finished though, there will be no cars or anything. Unfortunately, though, only walking around. Unfortunately, that's the downside to this though. Now I'm wondering something actually. Hold on. Oh, that actually works? What? No way. That actually works. That's something I've always wanted to see, actually. There we go. Okay, so now, let me actually show you guys something real quick, though. So, what I need to do is this. Well, first things first, though, is let me put the full block there. Oh, dear. Okay, so let me just show you guys a little something here real quick with the train. Well, first things first, though, is I gotta get the oak one out. I also have to get out, what is this? Cross tracks? Let me see what this looks like. Oh, it's one of those! Where it goes in like 4 different directions? Oh, interesting. They definitely updated this since the last time I used this. Which was obviously with Music_Player000, but unfortunately though, him and I are still not on good terms. Even though I tried myself to come clean, he just wouldn't listen. Unfortunately, so. But it is what it is. So I'm going to need that, and I'm going to need this as well. I'm also going to need an oak fence post as well, though. Okay. So, we're going to need to do... Now, I could stick it, like, on this, though. But the problem is, though, is it's going to be like a walkway, though. And I don't want it, like, on the actual walkway. But there is another block, though, that I'm going to need as well, though. I just got to find it first. Well, actually, for right now, though, I can actually, you know what, let me get rid of this barrier block. I don't really need this barrier block anymore, though. Or even the sapling, or the bone meal. There we go. Okay. Because it's a specific block, though, that came... Construction scaffolding. Interesting. Subway tiles! Tunnel trims? Huh? Say what? Glass, gold glass, iron glass? What? Nice. Anyway, so I need to find, where's cobblestone? Is it? Hold on. Here it is. Let's get down underneath. There we go. It's just to help kind of design with the tracks, though, a little bit. But something I also realized, though, is it's going to need to go, like, above it, though. So let me just build a little contraption like this, or I should probably use, like, iron bars, I think. Not really. Because if I'm thinking correctly... Because I think I could just stick it on like that, right? But then it just looks like it's floating, and I don't want it, and I don't like it that way. That way, so... I guess I'm gonna have to leave it off to the side, though, a little bit, like this. Now, these actually do work. These actually do work. And I'm not lying, they actually do work. So let me put this on, whoops, both sides. Well, first I gotta get the grass block back out now. So for right now, though, I'm gonna stick these two in my inventory for right now, just so I can work on this. Well, actually, not really that, though. I'm gonna need that. Oh, excuse me. Nope, not that. And, oh. There we go. Nice. Now I'm gonna need to do the same thing on this side. Oh, wait. Yep, there we go. There we go. Okay, nice. So now that it looks like this, now I do also realize though, something actually. So, you see this, like, empty space over here, though? I actually plan on building something over here, though. I actually do, though. I just don't know what yet. But for right now, though, let me just, like... Here, let me just do a little bit of this real quick, though. For the train tracks. Now, obviously, though, I have a general idea, though, of what I'm going to need to do, though. But something that's also been brought to my attention, though, is how I'm going to do a train station. Now, what I'm going to need to do, though, is I will create my own tutorial, though, for this train station, though, as well, though. So for right now, though, I'm not going to build the train station, though, just yet, though. Until I, like, get it, like, get it fully done. So, like, I'm not going to build it on this world, though, until I get it, like, fully done, though. But what I need to do, though, is I need to actually make a copy of this world, though, just so I know exactly, like, where to put it, though. Now, if you're wondering about this, like, cobblestone wall, though, it's supposed to represent the gravel that goes around the track, that goes, like, underneath the tracks. The reason why I don't want to use actual gravel, though, is because this actually looks way better, in my opinion. So, yeah. There we go. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Nice, nice, nice. Ah. Jeez. Now, now, the thing is, though, I do have to be ready, though, by a specific time, though, so oh, wait, what the heck? Why is the full block still in my inventory? I don't want the full block in my, I don't need it on my, inventory. Hotbar. Why is it still in my hotbar? I thought I put it back. There we go. Actually, I think in order to do this one, though, I think I might need the full block, though. But remember, like I said, though, we're just going to be walking, though. There's going to be fake cars, unless I don't use the furniture add-on. But then it's going to look weird with when I do the houses, though. There's, like, no proper seating anywhere. And I don't want that. I need to keep at least one of the furniture add-ons, though. But the furniture add-on I'm going to keep, though, is the one I got to double check on. Which I'm not going to do at the moment, though. There we go. Because what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to have a separate train track, though, going underneath this. Though, as well, though, it's going to eventually connect up. But the problem I just realized, though, with this is the fact that, well, I will eventually use a car add-on, though. I just need to figure out a way to actually make it actually function, though, properly. So, it's going to be a bit of time, though, till you guys see a car add-on this world, though, because not having a car add-on, though, is just going to be boring, in my opinion. And you have to, like, constantly walk everywhere, so that's why you need, like, a food shop on, like, every single corner, and I don't want that. Jeez, what is up with my... Jeez Louise, like... Now, obviously, though, like, what I'm eventually going to need to do, though, is this, though. I will, like, see if I could try to get some of my friends to help me out, though, like, for example. Here's an example. This school over here, though, Connor still needs to finish it, though. But I'm not rushing him to finish it, though. I'm just letting you guys know that this school over here, though, still needs to be finished, but as you can see, it's, like, nowhere near finished. That's because Connor hasn't been on this world to help me out with that yet. And I just hope, like, he can, like, still help me out with it, though. Now, I will give him a heads up, though, before he joins the world, though, that it will be, like, just opening up the inventory, though, will be laggy, but that's the only part that's going to be laggy. Because of how much items I have, though, that are important, though. Because we're going to have a train add-on, though. The reason why we're going to have a train add-on, though, is because, well, what's a city without trains? Like, for example. Now, I'm just giving an example of a place where there's trains. So, that I did some research on. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm not saying I live there, I'm just saying that, I'm just using Philadelphia, Pennsylvania as an example. They have trains in that city, like subways. Just like New York City. They also have a subway there as well, though. Think of Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire. That's a subway. And that's located in New York. Now, what we're going to need to do, though, first... Now, before I continue on to work on the road, though, I want to kind of, like, focus on, like, doing the train tracks a little bit. Ooh, good thing I have the grass block in my inventory. Oh, hotbar. Now, I will show you guys that these signal things here, they do actually work. And these tracks can also turn as well, though. But I never knew they could actually go up. I did not know that. There we go. Okay, so let's do the middle. There we go. Nice. Perfect. Oh, now, obviously, though, I haven't been working on the bridge as much, like on the upper part, though, as well, though. I've been working on that as much, though, and I don't understand why, to be honest. But I will eventually continue working on that, though. I will eventually continue working on it. I just don't know when yet. But the reason why I plan on making a copy of now, the thing is, though, what I'm going to need to do, though, is when I'm ready to make the train station, though, is when I'll make a copy of this world. Now, obviously, though, griefers, basically people who grief worlds, be aware, you're not griefing my worlds. I will not like that. Especially if it's something I've worked so hard on. But anyways, though, well, to be honest, though, what I'm going to need to do, though, well, what I could do, though, is I could actually add the train station over here, though, but then I realized the parking lot, though, is too small. Because that parking lot over there is for the park, is for the theme park over here. So, I'm going to need to add, like, something over here, though. I just don't know what I'm going to add yet. Like, and obviously, though, I'm going to need to add stuff here and there and whatnot. I'm going to need to eventually do that. But, here. Let me actually get one of those, vehicle things real quick, though. Actually, come to think of it. Like one of those trains I was talking about. So, here. It's just so I could show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's grab the hand car. The hand car, though, is what I'm going to use. Okay, so let's grab this. Let's stick this in there. Now, two people can actually ride this at the same time. But watch this, though. Just listen. Yep. I told you they would work. And they stop, too, at a specific point. See? They actually work perfectly, though. Unfortunately, though, they don't have gates for them, though, unfortunately, so... Yeah. Which does suck, though, but it is what it is. So now... Okay, so what else should I do now? Well, first things first, though, is what I want to do, though, is I'm going to need to continue with the tracks, though, as well, though. So, I'm going to go out to... I'm going to go all the way out to here. Like, all the way out to here. This is where I'm going to go out to, though, before I make the track split. Now, obviously, though, there's that road there as well, though. But I just realized that the turn, though, that cannot be a turn, though, going this way. I have to leave that as an intersection until I can make it go that way. Or maybe what I could do is this. I could make that like a three-way intersection, have a road going like this, somewhere over here. But that means I'm gonna need to get the full block back out, though. So, I'm actually going to stick that intersection, though, like, right about here, so. There we go. I'm going to make that intersection right here. Which, now, the thing is, though, so, dude. There we go. Now, the reason why I'm making the intersection over here, though, there we go. No. Let's cross blocks. There we go. Now, the reason why, though, I'm going to have another intersection over here, though, I want to make sure I leave, like, a big enough gap, though, but then I just realized that's a bit too small of a gap, so I'm going to need to extend this out a bit more. Let's extend it out to over here, right here. There we go. Now, when I have it going split off into two different directions, though, okay, well, first things first, though, is, let me break this stuff over here, though. There we go. There we go. And I'm going to need to actually stick this over here. Because that should definitely now be long enough, though, to make sure it doesn't, like, do that and stuff, though, you know? Now, obviously, though, you cannot stop on the tracks, though, which is pretty obvious. So, yeah. There we go. Oh. There we go. Perfect. And perfect. Nice. Okay. Stick that here with that going like that. Same thing on this side. There we go. Perfect. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Because I will eventually figure out a way to make a car add-on to work. So I will need to eventually do that, though, at some point, though. I just don't know when yet I'm going to be able to do that. But, yeah. There we go. Okay. Now, the reason why I have to build the tracks outwards, though, okay, let's just stick this over here, though. Hold on. There we go. That's better. Let's break these off. Now, this is just to make it easier on myself, though. Here, let me just place down the track real quick, though, actually. Just to make it easier on myself, though, just so I know exactly where to place the blocks, though. Yes, I know I did miss some blocks. I will go back and fix that. Like this one I missed, and this one I missed. There we go. Now, we're gonna have, like, different types of trains, though, of course. So we're gonna have diesel, we're gonna have freight trains, which will be hauled by diesel trains. Or actually, what I'm actually gonna do is I'm actually just gonna create the tutorial, though, of the train station, though, on that specific world. Now, I will include the parking lot. I will include the parking lot. I will do that. I will also include the parking lot. But now what I need to do, though, is I'm now going to need to add these tracks in. Oh, whoops. Well, as you can see, that thing just went on an angle. There we go. Okay, perfect. Now, obviously, though, so now here's the thing, though. Hold on a minute. Just give me some notifications. There we go. Okay. Says it needs to be one. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, hold on a minute. This is where things get a bit tricky, though. Oh, like that. There we go. So it's gonna need to look like this, though, because it's going on an angle, though. Now, even though, like, it should only technically be 1, though, the reason why it's 2 is because of these train track crossing things, which I need to add over here as well, though, kind of think of it. There we go. So, technically speaking, I don't technically need to have it, like, all the way down, though. I just realized that, actually. Hold on a minute. Let me just... There we go. And yes, these things do work. I've tested them already, so... There we go. And yes, don't worry though. These will, like, so this one is going to go that way, while that one is going to go that way at some point though. Right now though, I'm just going to kind of work on this a little bit more though. But what I kind of need to do though, I'm going to need to eventually kind of like continue working on like this over here to then get that over there. So let me, you know what? Hold on a minute. Okay, so I'm not gonna need, so I'm not, oh, whoops. So I'm not gonna need this stuff for a while, though. So let me just stick those there. So then I can grab these 2 things. And I'm also gonna need the full block as well, though. So let me just put the grass block in there for right now. Grab this out. There we go. So I'm not going to need these train track ends for a while, though. Except for, like, the regular tracks, of course. But I am going to need eventually this, though. I'm going to need to eventually use that, though. So, yeah. Now, what I'm going to need to do, though, is I'm going to need to make this intersection, though, as well, though. If I actually somehow spot on this intersection, though, I'm going to be in shock. Now, if I look closely here... Let me just see something real quick. If I spot this on, though, I'm gonna... No way! I spotted on! Now, I will need to make, like, a bridge, though, as well, though, for some trains, though, as well, though. I will need to do that at some point. There we go. Because what I'm going to need to do, though, is, yes, like I said, I'll make a three-way intersection right here, like I mentioned. Nope, not there. There we go. So I'm just gonna build it out to here for right now, though. This area, though, because there is a why it can't go that way, though. Well, it could, though, but it's gonna interfere with that since this crossing, though, is too close to that. Given the reason why, it's not gonna really work well for a four-way intersection, unless if I make it turn, though, but I'm not going to. Because turns, though, are gonna, like a sharp turn, though, like, those things are gonna be, like, so hard to make, in my opinion. There we go. Now, I could add traffic lights here, though, but I'm not going to, though. Due to the railroad crossing being so close as well, though. Oh, darn it. Now, the thing is, though, I do have it, like... I will need to eventually see, like, if I could try to get the car add-on to work, though. To where I can keep the main furniture add-on I'm going to need, though. Which, the main furniture add-on I'm going to need to keep, though. Where is it? So the one I'm going to need to keep, though, is the ones with this, though. Like, the stools, the curtains, the flower box, like... the grandfather clocks, the shelves, the lamps, the chairs, the benches, like, all this stuff, though, is what I'm going to need to keep, though. But the problem is, though, there's another one, though, as well, though, which is classified under the spawn eggs. Which is all of this stuff. I don't really want this stuff, though. Wait, what? Steamroller? Woodcutter? Bus? Wait, bus? Huh? What did that come with? Taxi? What? That's... Well, I guess we do have some vehicles, though, but not a whole lot. Interesting. Wait, what's this? Colored jacket... Huh? What? Now, the black jack-o'-lantern just looks like a carved pumpkin. But what? I was not expecting colored jack-o'-lanterns. That's new. Well, to me, at least. Anyways, what I need to do now, though, is I now need to go... Oh, wait. Hold on a minute. So there's a block I need. I'm going to need... Well, blocks. More like, I'm going to need this block. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. And, well, actually, I'm gonna need a few more blocks, actually, I just realized. Hold on. I gotta get them out real quick. So I need to grab out this one real quick. So I can do that. And this. There we go. Okie dokie. So, oh geez. Yes, I know this lag though is very horrendous though, but it's going to be worth it though. So I'm also going to need this one as well though, to go over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we have the rest of the road. There we go. Oh wait, that block goes over there. That block goes there. Ah. There we go. There we go. Nice. Now, I think the car add-ons, though, are going to be very, very, very tricky to use, though. Because I know I've had a car add-on here before, though, but it was only with the roads add-on, though, due to how much storage it takes up, so, on the world. Here, let me just build this out to over here real quick, though. Just to make it easier on myself. There we go. Oh, darn it. Good thing I still kept that. Okay, so now what I'm going to need to do, though, is I'm actually going to now need to put this, this thing back in my inventory. So I don't really need that out right now, though. Darn it. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Darn it. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. Nice. Because just having to walk around, though, is just going to be really annoying to do. To constantly have to do. But I will need to also add that food add-on back, though, as well, though. But I think it's just going to be best if I just do it on when I get the PS5, though. At some point, because I'm going to need to get that PS5 at some point, though, as well, though. I'm going to need to get the PS5, though, because on April 8th, 2026, PlayStation Plus for PlayStation 4 will be gone. Like, permanently. There's that block there for safekeeping. Then I will destroy the rest of... I forget. There we go. Now, there will be a stop sign here as well, though. Like at that intersection over there. There we go. Perfect. Okay. What the heck? Now, obviously, though, like, since it is gonna be laggy, though, I'm gonna need to create a copy of this world, though, as well, though, just in case. Because for starters, I don't want to lose this world. I have so much progress on this world, I don't want to lose it. If I lose it, I'm gonna be upset. So I'm gonna need to do those. I'm gonna need to actually, like, well, first things first, though, is I gotta, like, remove all this grass here, though. So I can finish off the road as well, though. And then so I can also add the stop sign in as well, though. But the one thing I never actually expected them to add, though, would be the turntables. Which is something I just realized, though, I'm gonna need, though, because I'm gonna need to make a train house, though. So, if you've seen, like, Thomas the Tank Engine, though, like, old TV show, though, you know, like the shed, like the train shed, though, where all the trains go to sleep, like Thomas and his friends go to sleep, it's like that. That's what I'm talking about. I'm gonna need to make one of those, though, as well, though. I do realize that now. I could make an exact replica, though, of the one from Thomas, though, but I'm not going to, though. Due to how time-consuming it's gonna be. Now, how does this go? Does it go like that? Nope. It goes like this. Noted. There we go. There we go. And there we go. Perfect. Okay. Nicely done. Whoops. Oop. There we go. Whoops. Hold on a minute. There we go. And there we go. Perfect. Okay. So now that I have this road all connected, though, as well, though, what I'm gonna need to do, though, is I'm gonna need to make that train tracks, though, go over that way. But what I could do, though, is I could actually have, like, one going over that way to where it's like a buffer, you know? I could do that, but I'm not gonna do that right now, though, due to how time-consuming it's gonna be. Now, I do realize this, though, that since that is going to turn there, though, like going in like a Y shape, what I'm going to need to do, though, is I'm going to need to eventually, like make that, like, go to, like, another turn, though, or something like that. I'm going to need to eventually do that as well, though, but I'm not going to do that right now. Unless if I make, like, the turn, like, right around here, I could do that. Yeah, you know what, let's work on this, though. I haven't worked on this in, like, a while. So let's stop here. Just so I can create the turn I'm going to need to make. Oh, there we go. So now what I'm going to need to do, though, is I'm actually going to put the blocks in my inventory, though, of what I'm not going to need. Like, I'm not going to need this, I'm not going to need this, I'm going to need this, I'm going to need this. Oh, not that. I'm going to need this as well, though, so let me just... Oh, wait, I don't have enough room now. Darn it. It's fine, though. Because what I'm going to need to do, though, is I'm actually going to stick that there, grab this, and grab this. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Because what I'm going to need to do, though... Oh, wait, hold on. I just realized. I need one more block. I need one more block. I just realized I'm going to need one more block, which would be this block right here. So I can stick that in my inventory. There we go. Perfect, actually. Wait, yeah. That's fine right there. Okay, good. So what I'm going to need to do, though, is I'm going to need to bring this out to here, though, but I'm going to need to make the turn as, like, right here, though. There we go. But now what we're going to technically need to do, though, is I'm going to need to add these in there. In here, though. But I just want to take a look at down here, though, real quick, though, just to see how I did this. Okay, so I did 1, 2 on the outside. So 2 goes on the outside, but 1 goes on the inside. Inside, though. So it's going to go kind of like this a little bit. Kind of like that a little bit, though. Right? No. These gotta go in a bit further, though, actually. So it doesn't go there and there. It's actually gonna go here and here. But then, man, hold on. Hold on a minute. Let me just place these blocks back real quick, though. And just do a little bit of this. This can actually assist me on trying to make this turn as well, though. Okay. So that can actually assist me on trying to figure out how to do that turn. But the problem is, I need to do the inside as well, though. So let me just work on the inside real quick as well, though. But first things first, though, is let me just add this line going this way, though. There we go. It's just so this can actually assist me as well, though. There we go. Okie dokie. And then I could just do this on the same side as well, though. Okay. There we go. And then... there. Perfect. Okay. So now I can add this, but what I'm going to need to do, though, is I'm going to need to add a railing, though, as well, though. Kind of like on the outside of this as well, though, just so nobody falls off this. Because I don't want to have any injuries, though, in my city. So. There we go, though. Okay, good. Now it's looking a bit better now. But something I also realized, though, is this. I'm going to need a lot more supports, though, down at the bottom as well, though. Luckily for me, I have this. Luckily for me, I have the perfect blocks for that, though. There we go. Now, to figure out, like, how to put it, like, in here, though, but the problem is, though, I just realized that I'm going to need to add this going like that, but then I realized something, that the inside and the outside, so the inside and outside, though, are actually the same exact amount, though. It's both, too. So, actually, it's going to have to go like this. So the inside's going to have to go like that. And then the outside's going to have to do the same thing. But what I'm going to need to do, though, is I need to figure out exactly where to place it, though. I think like this. Like that. Oh, yeah. Just like that. That's perfect, though. But I'm thinking, but this one actually has a bit more to it, though, than that one. So I think I might need to change this one, though, a little bit, I think, right? No, that's got the same amount, though. I just realized, so... how's that gonna work? I don't know. Oh, there. Okay. Or what I could do is I could actually have, like... one of these tracks right here, though, going off to the left, going underneath this. I could do that as well, though, but I'm not going to due to the complexity of it, though. So, you need to line this up with this block, I think, right? Yep. Perfect. Okay. Now, what I'm eventually going to need to do, though, is oh, wait. I was supposed to make an intersection over there, though, to be honest. I was supposed to make an intersection over there, but I'm not going to, though, because of the train tracks. But, yeah. Now, what I'm eventually going to need to do, though, is I'm going to need to eventually, like, make the same thing I did over here, but somewhere over here as well, though. I'm going to need to eventually do that. As well, though. I do realize that. Now, so... Now, hold on a minute, though. Let me actually continue working on the road over here, though, real quick, actually. Come to think of it. Just to make it easier on myself. There we go. Perfect. Ah. Oh, darn it. There. Now what time is it? Ooh, okay. So I'm gonna finish up this section down here. Oh, darn it. I need to get that grass block back out now, darn it. Hold on a minute. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna grab out the grass block. There we go. So I can stick that there, so I can then stick that there. Because what I'm gonna need to do though is I'm actually gonna finish this patch of road right here, and do the supports though that I'm gonna need as well though. To make it easier on myself. As well. Oh wait, I just realized I kind of put those in the wrong spot. Because you see, okay, so I actually made the math of this incorrect. These need to go right here. Because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make these guys go like right up against the sidewalk though. And somehow my math was one block off. Though. Because while I was waiting to, now this side is perfectly fine though. Here, look at this. You see how this one's connected right by the sidewalk though? This one's perfectly fine though. It's just the other side though wasn't. And I don't understand why though, but it is what it is. There we go. Oop. Oop. Ah. There we go. Oh, no. Nope. Get the cross block out. Because we're gonna need to, because what I'm doing though is like, now I will also have like lights though, like underneath underneath something like this though. I will though. I just don't know exactly what lights though specifically. But there we go. Nice. Okay. So now what I need to do though is I'm now going to need to add some supports over here though. Unless if I make like another road though right here, make this right here and actually a four-way intersection. But I'm not going to do that though due to how close it is to this one. So that one's going to stay a three-way intersection. Which means I'm going to need to kind of find the center block though. And it looks like, well, depending on how far apart these blocks are though. So let me just count. Let me count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Oh. Okay, so this is an even number right here. It's an even number. Indication that there's going to need to... Okay, so I counted 26. But 26 is only divisible by 2. It's only divisible by 2. So, what I'm going to need to do... I need to think. What am I going to do for this? I got to think. Because there's 2 middle points, though, since it's an even number. Got to think. Unless if I can try to figure out a way to bump this back by 1. I'm going to need to try and do that, actually. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to bump all of this back by 1. Just to make it easier on myself. So I'm going to put that block, nope, that block there, and then that block is there. Then bop, bop. Yeah, I'm going to need to refit this entire thing, actually. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to need to redo this entire thing right here, though, real quick. Though, before I end the episode, though. Or unless if it ends before I get a chance to finish this, though. But if it ends before I get to finish this part, though, I will still finish this off camera. I will finish this off camera, though. If the video ends before I get a chance to finish this. Now, if you want, now obviously though, what I need to do though is I'm gonna need to kind of fix this a little bit as well, though. There we go. Okay. There. Now, But I can then do those. Then I can get rid of this. Get rid of this one. And move it down by 1 block. Even though the corner of it, though, has changed, though, actually. Wait, hold on. Yeah, the corner has changed. To where now the corner block is right here. Is right, hold on. Actually, hold on a minute. Let me just get rid of this part real quick, though. Just so it can, like, help me analyze it a little bit. Okay. Actually, what I'm gonna need to do, though, is in order to make this an odd number, though, because I need to make it, like, 25, though, because then I just have to count, like, in between, though. Oh, actually, wait, hold on. Because if it goes 25, I need to find the center point, though. Okay, so let me just count 25. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait, hold on. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So, I need to have a pole going right here. So this right here is supposed to be the edge, though, of the turn. So that's supposed to be the edge of the turn. Right here. So I need to bump that back by a lot. So I'm going to keep this portion of it. Actually, wait. If that's supposed to be the edge of the turn, then I need to get rid of this entire thing. Right here. Because if that's supposed to be the edge of the turn... Yeah, I need to rework this entire thing over here, though, to be honest, though. Or I could just build it, like, 1 block outward, though, and make 27, though, but I didn't, so, yeah. Because if that's supposed to be... Because if this is supposed to be the edge of the turn right here... I gotta think. Because if that's supposed to be the edge of the turn... Then what I need to do is I need to go... There we go. 2, break all of this, or 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. There we go. Perfect. So now that this is 7, and though, what I need to do, though, is I need to find the center point. So the center point is right here. So I need to do that, and then I'm going to need to do bop, bop, bop. There we go. Okay. So then now I'm going to need to do those. I'm going to do a little bit of that. There we go. Oh, wait. Keep those there. Keep those there. Keep those there. Keep those there. There we go. Because I need to find the center point, though, of this. So I need to find the center point of 25, though. So it'll be... So the center point of 25 will be block 13. Because 13 and 13 equal 26. But... since there's 25 here, I just need to find block number 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. The center point is right here. Perfect. That's where that block... Now, that's where that's going to go, though. Just to make it easier on myself, though, with the math. Because, well, if something looks off to me, though, it's going to bother me, so... yeah. Now, I will need to expand this outward, though. I do know that. I will need to do that. I'll need to expand this outward. But